Hi, my name is Glo Dio Dati. I am the author of this book called GloWings and Luke. I've read it to my students over my teaching career, and they really loved it, and I hope you enjoy it too. GloWings and Luke. In a small town, there lived a young boy named Luke. Sometimes Luke didn't know how to be good. He seemed like he was always getting into trouble. He would whine and complain about not being able to do what he wanted, like stay up late on a school night or eat dessert before dinner. And he definitely did not want to clean his room. He would also fight over where to sit in the car whenever his family went out. One day, he got really mad. He ran and he ran and he ran through the kitchen, out the back door, down the driveway, across the street, and all the way down the block until he could not run anymore. He felt tired and he looked for a place to rest. He spotted the biggest tree he had ever seen. He climbed up and found a comfortable branch to rest on. Something felt strange. He felt that he was not alone. And after he rested, he climbed higher and higher. He still felt like there was someone else there. He climbed further and further up the tree. He stumbled on something he had never seen before. He discovered a family of butterflies. He thought they were beautiful. He secretly watched them for a very long time. He could not take his eyes off them. They were laughing and playing. He could tell that they were a loving family. One of them turned around and spotted Luke. Then they all turned toward him, and all together they said, "Hello, Luke!" He almost jumped out of his skin. Luke was really surprised and asked, How did you know my name?" A beautiful, colorful butterfly named GloWings fluttered forward and said, "Luke, we've been watching you for a long time. We know you're having trouble trying to be good. We would like to teach you something new that will help you." They all asked, "Did you ever hear the phrase, 'think with your heart'?" Luke said, "No, I never heard that." GloWings asked, "Luke, are you ready to learn what it means?" He was all ears. He said, "Yes, yes, yes." GloWings fluttered closer to him and said, "Luke, this is what you must do. You must go out into your world and do 3 kind things. After you do each one, come back here and share it with us. If you forget to be kind, try to remember to think with your heart. Say the words quietly to yourself 3 times. I promise you, a new idea will come." Luke felt excited. He wanted to be kinder. He wanted to learn how to think with his heart. He couldn't wait to see if this new idea would truly work. He swiftly climbed down the tree and ran all the way home. He walked into the living room and found his brother Pablo watching TV. Luke saw the remote control, picked it up, and changed the channel. Pablo turned toward him and yelled, "Luke, what are you doing?" I was watching that show. Luke yelled back, You always get to watch what you want. I don't care. He immediately caught himself before he blurted out another angry word. Just then, he remembered the phrase, think with your heart. He whispered it to himself 3 times. Think with your heart. Think with your heart. Think with your heart. All of a sudden, a new idea popped into his mind, just like GloWings said. He turned toward his brother and said, Hey, Pablo, let's take turns. You watch your show now, and then when it's over, I'll pick a show I like. Pablo couldn't believe what he just heard. He couldn't believe this was Luke speaking. Pablo turned toward Luke and said, Luke, what a great idea. Instantly, Luke ran out of the living room, through the kitchen, out the back door, down the driveway, across the street, down the block, and climbed back up into the tree. He was so excited, he couldn't wait to tell GloWings. He called out, GloWings, GloWings. She slowly came fluttering toward him. Luke said, You're not going to believe what I just did. She said, Tell me what happened. He said very guiltily, I changed the channel without asking my brother. We started fighting over which channel to watch. I remembered to say, think with your heart 3 times, like you said, and right after I said it, the idea to take turns just popped into my mind. GloWing said, See the magic that can happen when you think with your heart? She asked him, How do you feel? Luke said, I feel good inside. GloWing said, Luke, I see a little light shining in you. Off Luke went climbing down the tree, feeling happy and feeling good about what he did. At bedtime, his mom told him that her friends were coming over tomorrow to take him and Pablo to the park. Luke thought that sounded like fun, and he couldn't wait. He slept peacefully that night. The next day, they were all ready to go to the park, but Luke and Pablo started fighting over where to sit in the car. Pablo told Luke, Move over, I got this side. Luke said, No, I got this side. Pablo said angrily, Move over, Luke, now. Luke said, No, Pablo, I'm not moving. They kept arguing back and forth, back and forth. Luke noticed the looks on his mom's friends' faces. They were quite disappointed. Then Luke started whispering to himself 3 times, Think with your heart. Think with your heart. Think with your heart. Another new idea popped into his mind. He turned to Pablo and said, Pablo, it would be fair if you sit on that side on the way to the park, and I'll sit there on the way home. Once again, Pablo liked Luke's idea and gave him 2 thumbs up. Luke couldn't wait to tell GloWings and her family. He asked his mom's friends if they could stop by the huge tree he found on the way home. He wanted to show it to them. Luke showed them how well he can climb, and they all watched him disappear into the tree. GloWings, GloWings, he called out. She appeared out of nowhere. She asked, What happened today? Luke honestly told her how he fought with Pablo over where to sit in the car. He explained how after he said think with your heart 3 times, another new idea of how to be fair popped into his mind. GloWing said, Wow, I am proud of you. You sure are learning to think with your heart. Your light is shining even brighter." Luke climbed down the tree with so much excitement. It looked like he was going to burst. And everyone noticed it. They all felt that there was something different about him. Pablo thought, I think my little brother is changing. As soon as they got home, Luke wanted to have an ice pop. He asked his mom if he could have one. She said, "No, not now, sweetie. We are going to eat dinner soon." Luke whined, "Mom, please, I want an ice pop. Now, please." He began to cry. He caught himself before he said another word. He thought of GloWings and her family. He remembered what they all wanted to teach him. And again he whispered 3 times, "Think with your heart, think with your heart, think with your heart." And once again, another new idea popped into his mind. He went over to his mother and he said, "I'm sorry, Mom, for not listening to you. I know I shouldn't have an ice pop before dinner." His mom smiled, hugged him, and said, "Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. I think your heart is changing, Luke." He beamed. Luke said, "Ma, I'll be right back." He ran through the kitchen, out the back door, down the driveway, across the street, down the block, and up onto his favorite branch. GloWings and her whole family were there waiting for him. They wanted to celebrate with him for doing 3 kind things and remembering to think with his heart. All together they said, "Luke, share your story with us. We want to hear all about it." And Luke began. "I got mad at my mom for not letting me have an ice pop before dinner. I thought of all of you and remembered your special words. I remembered to say 'think with your heart' 3 times, and I told my mom that I was sorry for not listening and that I should respect her." All the butterflies were glowing. GloWings fluttered forward and said, "Luke, you have become so much in so little time. You've changed. You have learned to take turns, be fair, and respect your mom. Your heart is shining so bright that it looks like you have wings." GloWings continued, "Luke, this is what it means to think with your heart. It's all about growing love on the inside. When you give love, it can make you feel like you have wings. Always allow love to flow from your heart." All of a sudden, Luke thought he saw something behind him. He thought it was a flicker of light. He looked behind him, but there was nothing there. Then he realized it was his own light. It was him. He was beaming. He was shining on the inside. "I learned how to be kind," Luke whispered. "I finally learned how to think with my heart." GloWing said, "Luke, the love inside you can keep growing. The love is your light. It shines brighter and brighter when you give your love. And people can see it in you wherever you go." GloWings sent Luke out into his world with these final words. "Keep your wings glowing. Light up the world with your love. Always remember to think with your heart." Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you'd like a copy, you can go to Barnes & Noble, preferably, or Amazon. Bye.